Howdy. I'm right here, y'all. I was just setting up the iPhone. I say camera, but it's not a camera, it's an iPhone. So, good morning or good afternoon or wherever in space and time you are right now. Farewell, cheers. I got my DOC right here, and I got a little prop, which is not a prop, it's actually what I wanted to make this video about. And this is not a DOC as much as it is a habit that is slowly killing me, or killing me faster than I already slowly am dying, since hence we're all dying. So I wanted to make this video because today was interesting, because I made a new mixture, you guys. I was tasked with changing the air filter for the air conditioner, which everybody should do, I believe, biannually. Did I say that right? Biannually, semi-annually, I don't know, 2 times a year. I would think the exception would be if you clean your house impeccably, at least on a weekly basis. And when I mean impeccably, I mean dust everything. Also, if you vacuum, you must vacuum 3 or 4 times a week minimum, because obviously, our epidermis, it literally like falls off, and that's what dust, the main component of dust is skin. But blah 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 blah. We all know that stuff. Or at least anyone that's seen us in as much YouTube as I have, or anyone that's read at least, I don't know, 5,000-10,000 hours. I have no idea. Or things that are informative, not including nonfiction. Even though some nonfiction will have factual statements in it, the only problem is, since you're reading a nonfiction book, you don't know if it's a fact or not. And also with some books, they can get facts wrong too. Books are written by people, and people are human beings, just like everything else. So really, the only way would be to conduct your own experience. So big shout out to all the educational YouTubers out there who actually put in the work and do the experiments. Which reminds me of the video that the slow-mo guys did, where they filmed at the speed of light, and it actually showed how light functions as a wave. And when you slow it down, the frames, like, I forget how many frames every picosecond, you can literally see the light bouncing. They use 2 little figurines of themselves, the two guys, the slow-mo guys, and the light will go from one to the other. So it oscillates almost, just like current, just like electricity. So, to prove that light is kind of like a wave, but it's also got, light is something that is debated, so let's not get into that either. So let's get into the little prop that I brought today. Before I changed the filter, I was instructed to first vacuum, which that proved nearly unnecessary, because for some reason there was no dust behind the filter. I guess the filter did its job. I tried to vacuum, but it was like literally picking nothing up. There was like a little like white stain that seemed like dust, and I went over and over it again with a vacuum. And as one of my buddies that yesterday wanted to catch some beef with me and wanted to fight, and by the way, if you still want to fight, hit me up. They said that he knows I vacuumed his car for him. He's seen the force that the vacuum has, so it does pick up. But for these stains, for some reason, they were just stains. So mom said, just forget the vacuum, and you spray bleach, Fabuloso, and in there. You know, I'm like, how do you want me to do that? With water, obviously, you got to dilute all that stuff. And I said, how do you want me to do that? And she said, just use the bottle that you use when you mop. So, sure, to my, I don't want to say luck, but, or whatever, to my luck, obviously, you know, since I mop often, the bottle was already like nearly empty, so I was able to just throw in a little bit of Fabuloso, like a little bit of bleach, and then some Fabuloso, and then I filled up the rest with water. So I don't know what, I can't tell you the exact mixture this is, but this is now bleach, Fabuloso, and water. So this is what I'm going to be using for mopping for now, which that's another thing. I just texted my sisters the classics that I got gifted, which is my beloved present that made my year. That, and also the birth of CJ, and what else? Oh, and Messi, Argentina winning the World Cup, because it's a team, not a person that plays football. Anyways, I mean soccer. So yeah, so this is what I'm going to be using now while I mop. And another thing that I want to show you guys, I did something today which was rather fun. It was fun and work at the same time, I guess you could say. Besides all the other unfun things that I did, which was just trim some palm fronds, because neighbors around here, you don't know which ones are, you know, picky, you don't know which ones or whatever. So like for instance, this palm frond, you see how it kind of goes over the fence a little bit. I gotta try to trim all the ones that go over the fence. The really tall one, I don't know what to do about that one, but I did clean that up. Obviously not all the way. There's still a little piece right there that I didn't get. Come on, camera, focus. I didn't get that piece, but I cut this one. I cut some more palm fronds here. These are freshly cut because they were going over over to the neighbor's side, and they seem pretty cool. I'm not saying that none of my neighbors are not cool. Everybody's just different. People's got different personalities. I'm not here to judge. To me, human beings are human beings. From dust we come, from dust we go. But here is where lies the problem. Is our avocado tree, the one that bears fruit, which last year was cut, but by professionals, you know, like actual like arborists or people who do that kind of stuff. So I was not able to do that, so I had to literally climb up on top of the tree. I got maybe about halfway. So let me show you guys for example. Obviously, I don't have a vertical jump to get up to there, so I used a ladder to get up to here, and then I climbed my way up to that branch, and I think that's about as high as I got. But in the process of being up there, I kept looking down to the fence so I could see the line, and then I looked at the branches to try to see which branches are going over the fence, and then I cut them literally with like a little handsaw. So I was up there. Yes, it's fun being up on top of a tree, climbing a tree, but no, it's not fun. And then also at the same time making sure that as it's about to get fall, make sure it falls on my side. I don't want it to fall on that side and then have to walk around and, you know, intrude into their property. So I did a couple branches from that side. Then I moved over. I climbed over to this side. How high did I climb? Let me see if you can see. I think up to that step right there, and I cut a couple over there. I did not get much, as you can see. This is all I was able to cut, just these branches, which if you underneath are also the palm fronds that I cut earlier. Just these branches, but if you see the size of this tree, how big it is. Look, we're looking into space right now as we're looking at the tree. If you see the size of this tree, you can see that this was just like a really mild trim. This is the equivalent of me cutting my eyebrow and making a little line like how football players do. So it was nothing. I gotta fix the cassava plant. I always had a theory that trees or plants will grow where the sun is, and I planted this, but where you can see the base, the trunk, which I tried to plant so that the original trunk was upright, which would still leave the main trunk sideways. But the other day, my buddy, again, who I mentioned earlier, he didn't see it because it was dark, and he hit it, and I think that made it so. See, now this trunk that's supposed to be going straight up vertically, it's leaning a little bit. Let's just say, I don't know, like 1 or 2 degrees to the left, which now causes this big old plant that every time I open that door, it's right up in my face. And also, like I told my sisters, a little trick that I do every time that I clean and make a new, I clean the mop and I make a new bucket. I also at the same time I take advantage and I water both the cassava plant, and our old avocado tree. I don't want to get rid of it. Pops said just get rid of it once and for all, so the neighbor would stop, complaining about it. But this year it gave so much fruit, and I think it was because of two factors. One, that it was trimmed very well last year, which I thought that amount of trimming would cause it not to give fruit, but in fact it did the opposite. And two, every single time that I come out to make a bucket to mop, which I try to do 3 to 4 times a week average, like how you're supposed to do exercise, 3 to 4 times a week, I always watered it. So I think between those two things, that made it. It gave so much fruit that there was a point we couldn't even give out. We had so much that we couldn't even give out enough. But what I really want to grow now is a mango tree. So that's besides the point. So yeah, that's my video for today. Today's Friday. I don't know, January something. Let's think. I think the 6th. January 6th. Does that sound right to you guys? 1 plus 7 is 8. Yeah, today's the 6th. January 6th, because I think the first was on a Sunday. And it's approximately 1,400 hours by now, I would think, because the day goes by. And I started vacuuming, but now I gotta get to the rest. Another thing I want to give a shout out to Mr. Muhammad over at Pines Health Mart. Yes, the prices are a little higher than usual, but he understands my financial situation and the fact that I have no insurance. And this is one reason why I love mom and pop pharmacies any day of the week over these big conglomerates, the duopoly as I call it, which is CVS and Walgreens. You get no personal attention there whatsoever, none at all. Here, this gentleman, he worked with me. He brought the prices down to where it's just about the same as CVS. And you know what? Even if I'm paying an extra whatever, 5%, 10%, I don't know, whatever, it's worth it for the personalized attention that you get, and for and the treatment that you receive. That's invaluable. You can't put a price on that. So I just want to leave that on a good note, because I know lately I've been crying a lot about, oh, my pharmacist, Don't get me wrong, where I was going before, there's no comparison to that. But hey, all good things must come to an end, and one door closes, and then a window opens, or another door opens. I don't know. whatever. All right, ladies and gents, thank you for watching. Thank you, internet, and yeah, have a great day.